Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Sammy's Grill, Old Perkins near Airline in Prairieville. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. We got a full house today, in addition to Dwayne Colucci and Kenny White and Matt Humans. Chris Massaro moving up a day. Well, as it works out, it fits his personal schedule, but it also fits ours because the NCAA tournament gets back on tonight. So all that worked out, and baseball starts today. Major League Baseball starts today. It's just odd. Don't you think it's just a little odd?
I mean, this is what they've moved it up. I mean,
yeah.
Charlie, they hadn't been on Monday. Opening day hasn't been on Monday in 15 years?
No, it hasn't been on Monday, but it also I don't remember it ever conflicting with the Sweet 16 of the NCAA basketball tournament either.
I can't remember.
Everything changes. I mean, it hasn't been opening day at noon in Cincinnati since, gosh, we were in college probably. I don't know, or maybe just out of college. It's been a while. That was the.
When's the last time? No, I can't remember the last time they did it. But I mean,
time.
It's been that long. And then they started doing Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Then they moved it from Monday. Now, when it was on Monday, it was Cincinnati. It was the first pitch.
Yeah, Cincinnati was always they're always at home, or they used to always be at home.
Now they're moving it to 2. They got 2 at 2, Yankee Stadium. And then they got about 7 games at 3. So, and then some games up against the Sweet 16. So.
Got LSU baseball tonight as they take on Mississippi State. LSU, a big favorite. State holding their ace for Game 2, which keeps him on normal rest. But LSU will go with Cade Anderson tonight. So the Tigers a favorite in Game 1 at Alec Box tonight. That's at 7 o'clock. That's on SEC Network. And, of course, we got the first 4 games of the Sweet 16, 3 of them involving SEC schools. Alabama in the first game against BYU, Florida in the second game against Maryland, and Arkansas in the late game against Texas Tech.
20.5, the over-under for SEC wins in the tournament looks pretty good right now at 15 with 7 teams left.
Yeah, and you got 2 of those teams are a favorite tonight and tomorrow. You got 2 teams playing each other, so you're guaranteed one, and then Auburn is a favorite. So you've got four teams that are favorites in one game where you're guaranteed to have an SEC winner.
So we'll wait live on studio at the halftime of the NIT game last night. So.
I missed that. How was that?
It was a pretty good bit. It was about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, he said he was they asked him, what's his schedule been like, with the transfer portal, you get to get right on it. Man, he's had his roster at 80 to 90% of it set up for months. You can't tell him, I've been working on my roster, whether I was staying at McNeese State, NC State, or LSU or wherever.
I'll be somewhere.
I had my roster pretty much set. We talked about finding places for the current players, whether it's on their roster or somewhere else, and just trying to address them first. But also, he did say this, that he wants to be confident, not arrogant. And he thinks that he's got some confidence. He doesn't think that he lost it. He talked about the rise was really quick at LSU, and the fall was even quicker. And he said that he thought he was arrogant at LSU.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to improve on himself. You know, it's just when you get knocked down, when you get humbled, you kind of, you reflect, you look at yourself.
He admitted his mistakes, which is a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's what people want to hear. Well, I mean, it certainly
did him good in the interview.
Charlie, who isn't better at what they do with experience? If you're not, I mean, you're just dumb. I mean, period. Well, I mean, if you're not improving, you're dumb.
We've seen some coaches fail in the second act. So,
well, I mean, I'm not going to call McMahon dumb because he's not dumb. But I'll tell you what is dumb. Really? I mean, this is a local beat, specialty, LSU specialty. Pat. I don't even know his name. He's not the old Mississippi State and Florida coach. McMahon is excited about the transfer portal this year.
Great.
It's year freaking 4. Yeah. So we're 3 years behind Vanderbilt on the pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, how can you print that without that being people getting pissed? How do you do that?
I don't.
Vanderbilt's not even the beat keeps coming. I mean, the beat keeps happening. Really, 4th year, we're excited about a transfer portal. Man, what the hell is going?
But so what's he supposed to say? He's not excited about the transfer portal. I mean,
it's dumb, man. I mean, it's insulting. It's embarrassing.
Okay,
that's embarrassing. And
at this point,
if you're paying any type of attention, our board of supervisors isn't paying any attention. It took them till Mississippi State in the SEC tournament -1. For them to wake up and go shake up the governor.
That's the embarrassing part, okay?
That's the embarrassing part.
There's nothing that he can say at this point that's going to resonate with you. At this point, you're listening with your eyes, okay? It's great that you're. It doesn't offend me that he says he's excited about the transfer portal.
Oh,
great.
That pisses me off.
Okay,
man.
well,
I'm sorry.
So
that pisses me off.
What's he supposed to say? I'm not excited.
I hear you, but I mean, and I guess you got to put out some content. But I mean, really,
we criticize him when he doesn't say anything. So yeah, that's fine. I'm listening with my eyes. Okay, I'm past hearing anything. I want to see. Okay, if you go and you get kids out of the transfer portal from Middle Tennessee State or Towson State or whatever that can't play at this level, then we're done.
I'm just, but okay, you got to put out content. Okay, but you put it out. Who in the hell is that supposed to excite? Because that's when
everybody's listening.
That headline is that not like, oh man, hey, helps. I mean, that's because I'm like you, man. Kiss my, come on, man. Really?
Like I said, at this point, there's nothing he can say. It's
only
what he does.
I mean, that doesn't just rub it in the wound just that much more. I'm an LSU fan. I'm an LSU supporter, an alum, whatever. I'm supposed to get excited about.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high-fiver? I kind of like the high-five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
The transfer portal, man, he's feeling confident here. He's feeling good. Huh?
It's just hitting. Maybe it's just hitting you a certain way today. We had this conversation 3 months ago.
Oh, I know. You know why? Because I saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
So it was out. I mean,
it's like you're grieving a loved one. Okay, it hits you. Good days and bad. It hits you it hits you a certain way today. That's fine. It hit us months ago. If he goes out and he sounds 3 big time transfer guys, okay, then I'll get excited. Until then, just say what you got to say. I get why it aggravates you. You get why it doesn't aggravate me. I was aggravated before.
We don't.
I was aggravated before.
It's unbelievable. How much does LSU women's lose a year?
Well,
how much do they lose a year?
It's somewhere around $8 million.
How much does the LSU men win a year? Make a year?
They turned a profit of.
And why is that prioritized so much more? When it's a loser? Is that what world? What world?
This world. This world, man. Look, you brought up Vanderbilt. I would bring up LSU and Florida hired a coach same day, basically the same week, okay, 3 years ago. And LSU is, if they're not the worst basketball program in the SEC, they're one of the worst too. And Florida is not only playing in the Sweet 16 tonight, they hired very similar coaches. If LSU had hired Golden and Florida would have hired McMahon, it would not have shocked anybody, okay? The money was comparable. The programs were in, they're similar resource programs, okay? Florida basketball and LSU basketball, or at least they should be, okay? It's not Kentucky, okay? It's not Duke.
They've got more success, historical success.
They got the two national championships.
And they've been all the Final Fours, too.
But in 2022, the programs had similar resources. We agree?
No, the two hires were. I'm going to be fair about that. At the time,
yeah,
I didn't crush the McMahon hire.
No,
okay. I crushed it,
and we didn't think Golden was going to be this good
because it's hard to win at LSU basketball, and you had a guy that you were playing relevant games every March. Will has his ceiling too, I believe, but so you have it, but now it's completely flipped. It's easier than ever to win basketball games in the SEC because they got the most money. They got the biggest budgets. And don't call it NIL. It's not NIL. It's player budget.
It's money.
It's your payroll. I mean, it's easier than ever. And LSU is the worst over the 3-year span and not close.
Right.
So, I mean, and Florida, but those hires, I'm not going to. But you had to identify pretty early that this was, and when you hired him, was the pay for play as relevant? As
it wasn't as brave.
It's now you got it.
Developed as it is now.
You
but
need a guy. You need a personality that's going to go out and excite and hustle your fan base or your boosters. And that ain't happening. And that's where he's really weak.
They started in similar positions. The coaches and the programs, Florida's playing in the Sweet 16. They're one of the favorites to win the national championship, and LSU is the worst team in the league. What's for lunch? We're at Sammy's here on Old Perkins near Airline in Prairieville, and they have just made some. First of all, we got crawfish coming out at 5 o'clock on the weekdays.
Same thing. Same as Highland Road over here at Prairieville. It's the old Tommy's Fish House, old porch like KC's on Old Perkins near Airline in Prairieville. Been Sammy's for about a year now. And we got the same menu as we do on Highland Road. We have the same stuff as crawfish, the same recipe, boiled crawfish every day, weekdays, 5 p.m., weekends, including Friday, Saturday, Sunday, starting at noon. They are beautiful right now. This is now is the time. If you're looking for crawfish, they are really, about the next month or so, at least, they're really, really good right now. So, we got all of our famous, we used to rotate them back in the day on Highland Road, but now they're on the regular menu every day, whether you want the red beans and thin crispy fried pork chops, a hamburger steak with the onions, top of gravy, mashed potatoes, and sauteed vegetables. Chicken fried steak is on the regular menu. We took it off for a little bit. I don't know if they were test ballooning or whatever. Oh, yeah, you let us know that you want that chicken fried steak on the regular menu. It's over here. Catfish and white beans, the Bayou seafood pasta, chicken, black and chicken pasta. Start off with the onion rings, the coach's plate, the pepper jack boudin egg rolls, which are outstanding, the spinach and artichoke dip, great wings over here, different salads. There's something for everybody over here. And, of course, the beer's always cold. So nice bar area where we're doing the show today, but it's Sammy's Grill. It's 1988. You know the drill for the most part.
We do.
So there we go.
We do.
And we're glad to be over here. We're going to rotate, once a month between here in Highland Road. But today we're over here at the Old Perkins near Airline in Prairieville location.
Live at Sammy's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Live here at the Old Perkins near Airline Sammy's here in Prairieville.
Sammy's Grill, baby, since 1988. Yeah, so we rotated here between here and Highland Road. Crawfish again Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Friday, Saturday, Sunday starting at noon. They are beautiful right now. You got to check them out. I've only had them about 8 times this season.
Just 8?
That's it. That's it. Let's go out to San Diego. My buddy Chris Massaro, he's golfing tomorrow. Can't blame him for that. So let's get his picks for the Sweet 16 tonight or tomorrow night. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you? I'm actually out in Las Vegas again for Sweet 16, and had a nice dinner at the Wynn last night. And crawfish was not on the menu.
But you can buy supreme rice out in San Diego.
Now let me tell you, now, boy. Okay, we were on a dinner cruise, Charlie, in Paris on the Seine River, and they were serving crawfish. Huh? So it's French. It's a French cuisine, but hey, don't get. It's a local product. Hey, Chris, you know what they do have though, Chris, here locally at the Italian restaurants, a crawfish arancini. So they kind of combine the two. So it's really really good. Hey, like Bryant and the others, man, looked okay at half. Look, Cinderella might not be dead, but she's on life support, and it's just going to be much harder. I got bruised up pretty good in the first 2 days, because I usually bet sort of the obscure.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Dogs. Man, there was just so many of them weren't competitive. Now, with that being said, you see San Diego, they could have easily beaten a team that's in the Sweet 16 right now, okay? McNeese State did win a game. But, man, so many of the others are just not competitive. And when you got Alabama's, captain is from Ohio, and Florida's All-American is from Iona, and Auburn's All-American is from Morehead State, man, it's gonna be tougher for the mid-majors. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I know you guys have seen that. There's like a graphic where they have the starting 5 of each team in the Sweet 16, but where they started their first year of college basketball, and it says, hey, guess the teams, and it's hard to figure it out because Florida has 5 guys, and only 1 guy started at Florida. Duke has 2 guys that started at Duke, and Michigan State has a couple guys. The only team that had every player that actually started at their current school is Purdue. But you're right. I mean, it's just pick the best guy from the low major team and pay him some money to come to the big time school. And I'm not trying to take that away from these kids, trying to make the most of it, improve their life, make the money. But I believe, and I don't know if anyone, I was in a little bit of a Twitter thing back and forth the other night with a couple people regarding there has to be some sort of rules, whether if you're going to come to, say, LSU is going to pay a guy from Iona to come play basketball, that's fine. But he should have to at least commit to a contract of 2 years or 3 years or the money is this or that. You shouldn't be able to. These guys have been playing for 5 different teams. The kid Battle from Gonzaga, he's on his 5th team in 5 years. I know that there's the COVID year, you get an extra years, but you should not be able to play on 5 different teams 5 years in a row. There's reasons why there's rules in the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA. Free agency starts at a certain time. You sign a contract, you get paid money. But it's just the Wild West. There's no commissioner. There's no. It's just completely crazy that there's players on Michigan. Pippen's kid is in the portal and they're still in the tournament.
Yeah, well,
it is going to be tough for Cinderella.
Chris, but let me tell you, the national letters of intent have never been for multiple years. They've always been annual contracts. So I really think that's going to be difficult to go backwards. So much of this, the genie is out of the bottle. And yeah, it's poor leadership. But as far as, to me, it's Major League Baseball where you have no salary cap, okay? The teams are going to spend. And then if you regulate it, you don't think teams are going to cheat? It's been over.
Yeah, that's a good
okay,
point.
like they did before. Okay, and then the other thing, it's even worse because you could go cherry pick from any farm club that you want because the mid majors are minor league. Well, let me go get this prospect from the Orioles and put him on the Mets. For next year. And so it is what it is, man.
You don't even sign the national letters of intent anymore. They abolish that in the fall, so you don't even have to do that anymore.
They're not even.
You don't even sign it anymore.
So you don't even have an annual. But please start the transfer portal after the Final Four. I mean the next morning after. But I mean to have them Penn State's losing their backup quarterback. When they had never been in a playoff. They're going to playoff for the first time, and they didn't have it. So this just in. Chris, we got poor leadership in college athletics.
And they knew this was a problem last year. They knew this was a problem last year. They knew this was a problem last year when they opened a transfer portal the day after Selection Sunday. So it was a problem for 68 teams. So they said, well, we got to move that. So they move it a week up. And so now it's still a problem for the 16 teams. Move it to the day after the season is over. I mean, It would have seemed such a simple fix. Chris, go ahead.
No, I agree. It's one of the guys I was talking with on Twitter X or whatever. He was saying the football one has to be earlier than before the season ends because the second semester starts and these kids have to enroll. And I was just like, listen, save all that. They'll make exceptions for these kids. I mean, they're not going to be enrolled in the bioscience class that they're supposed to take at Alabama or something. I mean, give me a break. I mean, just push it back for the final game. You don't need kids on the teams, and obviously these kids are trying to get to the better school where they can make money and they can play, and I understand that, but that shouldn't be a distraction for a team that's in the Final Four or in the championship game in college football.
My son makes me laugh. He's on the campus at Alabama. So the star receiver. Boy, he's got a small backpack, Dad. Really, really, ain't a whole lot of books in there, son. No, really. So anyway, and look, there used to be academic suspensions. Bro, that stuff is gone.
When's the last time you heard of it?
It's been a long time. Chris, let's get to your picks either today, tonight, or tomorrow night, Sweet 16. Who you looking at?
Yeah, well, we're still rolling in this Circa Eastern contest. So I'm just kind of muddling through, middle of the pack. I'm 500, so I'm trying to make a little comeback, and I'm gonna lay the lumber with both Duke and Auburn. I think it's a really tough travel spot for Arizona. They were up in Seattle late on Sunday, played a long game. They had to fly back to Arizona on Monday, then fly across the country to Newark to play a Duke team that's just loaded for bear. They're just firing on all cylinders. Flag looks amazing. These two teams played earlier in the year. Duke dominated on defensive end, and I'm just going to bet against Caleb Love having that monster game. I mean, for them to win, for them to cover, Caleb Love has to play, fantastic. For them to win, he has to play out of his mind. He's capable of it, but against the Duke defense that really denies the three for a team that doesn't really shoot threes that great, I'm rolling with Duke. Same with Auburn. I feel like the cream's rising to the top right now. Both of these teams were dominant all year. Auburn had a little bit of a slowdown at the end of the season, but granted, they played really solid teams. One of them was on the road. They lost to A&M, and they lost in the SEC tournament. But I just think the emergence of Pettiford right now, he's been on fire the last two games, 23, 6-3, 16, 5-5.
Yeah.
Just an extra dynamic to that already explosive offense. I just don't think Michigan, they keep winning these close games, but I don't think this game's going to be close. I think they've had the tendency all year to either win the close game or get blown. They've had some really clunkers where they've got blown out. So I feel like this is the spot where both Duke and Auburn, really get back on track, and then everyone's talking about the potential Duke-Auburn final game. Couple other ones I'll throw at you. I really like Maryland. I'm not sure where the number is now. I have a +7. But I think this is another interesting travel spot. Florida, off the tough win against UConn, has to go out west. Well, Maryland's already been out west, and I've been on these travel angles all year. It's Florida's first trip out west in a while, and I think everyone's talking about, Maryland only runs 5 guys. You get the longer timeouts, the commercial break, the halftime's longer. I don't think there's going to be a problem with Maryland only running the 5 guys. They're not a team that fouls a lot, so I'm not expecting them to get into foul trouble. I'm not sure if they can win the game. I have my ticket for Maryland Final Four at a very big number, and I'm hoping that they can pull it off. I also have Florida to win the whole thing. I'm kind of in a catch-22, but I think Maryland getting 6.5, 7. I'm not sure what the number is right now. I really think they should be able to hang with Florida. Maryland has not lost a game by more than 6 points all season, so I don't think there's going to be. I don't think that's going to change tonight.
You know, Maryland's defensive efficiency rivals Florida. In fact, they're a little bit better. They're sixth in the nation in defensive efficiency. Florida doesn't get beat up in the paint very often. This is one team that could go blow for blow with them, Chris. I think the physicality of Maryland in the paint will rival that of Florida, so I like that pick.
I'm not sure how closely you guys watched that Florida-UConn game, but if you could look at the big guys' faces, Condon looked like he was going to pee his pants shooting those free throws. Those guys are not ready for the moment. Maybe that'll change this week, but if it wasn't for Clayton bailing them out, the big guys had nothing. I mean, there were some point totals. I mean, Condon had 3 points with a minute left of the game. I mean, these guys have been big contributors all year, and I just didn't see it. Like a lot of these games, it's the first big lights, like the St. John's game the other night. The St. John's players were not ready to play. The moment was too big. They couldn't make a free throw. They couldn't make an open shot. There was just some times where you just don't know how these guys are going to react in their first big moment when all the pressure's on them. Hey, you're the number 1 seed. Are you going to be able to make it through? So I really like Maryland.
That's a difference from their wins against Alabama and Auburn this year, because it was their bigs who really were the difference in those 2 wins. Both of them on the road too.
Oh, I agree with you. I said to you, and I said to a few other people, when Florida's playing their A game, they were pretty much unstoppable. But it definitely factors the bigs having big games, and that just wasn't the case against UConn. I was very surprised. I figured those guys were going to be a lot stronger in the paint versus UConn, and they just weren't.
All right, on the way out, Max wants to know what course you play tomorrow.
We're playing Siena. I've never played there. Okay. But, does Max know it?
Oh, he knows it. Trust me. Yes, he knows it.
Nick Faldo over there, he's probably played it.
Yes, I mean, look, if it's golf, trust me, he's on it. So, all right.
I'm just hoping it's a little warmer than it's anticipating tomorrow morning at 8:45. So I don't like to be cold.
And how about Bregman pushing your boy off at third base, huh?
That's right. I'm very excited. I've been down on the Red Sox the last couple of years, obviously. I'm very excited this year. As soon as I heard the inkling that Cole might be going out with the ACL, Tommy John, I was all over the Red Sox at plus 400 to win the division, plus 425. So I'll be rooting for the Red Sox today. No doubt about that.
Good luck, Chris. We appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Enjoy the games.
All right, don't forget our friends United Community Bank with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet. Our great team at United Community Bank, Heath Meyer, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, Prentice Wilkes. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Sammy's on Old Perkins, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Colucci, it's time. What's up, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy Ott? What are you guys doing down there, Sweet 16 Thursday?
Sweet 16, Major League Baseball opening day. Child, we got LSU Baseball Conference Series Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So, and me and Charlie living right, because Charlie had the Lakers money line last night, and I had the Pacers plus 1.5. I mean, of course it fell one,
huh? Sync, right? It's totally in sync when it
falls down. With that NBA.
Exactly. Well, we had 2 NIT games last night, so it was a very light night.
Getting ready for the playoffs, Kaluch.
Yes. Is your handle down in the NBA because you just don't know? You can't bet it until like 45 minutes before tip because you just don't know who's playing. I mean, it is. I mean, has it been affected at all?
Well, yeah, when you have the superstar power of, Luka sitting out, LeBron sitting out, Giannis sitting out, Damian Lillard having problems, it just becomes so difficult because you don't know who's going to be representing the team on the floor. And that's another problem with the Major League Baseball, what they started not announcing starting pitches until about a half hour and a half. The product we put out there, and definitely the consumer who's looking to make a living betting on it. You definitely want to put this team under the microscope and make sure that they're putting the best starting 9, the best starting 5, what have you, on the field or on the court. So, it definitely affects handle because you have people scrambling, but that's what mobile apps are for. That's why that's the win.
Yeah.
Up to the counter. They're just sitting at home waiting for that injury report. They buy the NBA package, you see the announcements, and you go from there.
How much of y'all business now, because you have the apps, that are in the state now? How much of is it through the window or through your app? What's the percentage?
Well, what we do, and Chris's, marketing tool, and Mr. Cohn's marketing tool, and my marketing tool is basically we will give you almost unlimited wages over the counter. So we have limits on the mobile app. Mobile apps are very hard to monitor lines. They come flooding in from all different angles, all areas of the state at one time. So you really have to be perceptive. But if you come over the counter, you're pretty much going to get whatever you want here at the Rampart or the South Point. So, the mobile app does help, but we still have a huge, huge counter presence because we're one of the few brick and mortar places that, promotes that. And with a lot of places, Jimmy, going even away from horse racing and not even offering that, we offer that. And if you see that on the video wall or you see the separate race book at the South Point, it promotes business. It gets you to maybe dabble in some horse racing, maybe bet on a video poker machine. We want you in the door enjoying our property and amenities, not just kicking back. But, definitely mobile apps help handle. But we're more of a brick and mortar. We want you at the counter, at the Rampart and South Point. That's why we have the 105 big special in the Sweet 16 over the counter only, guys. We don't offer that.
Are you doing it for the Sweet 16? For the games?
Of course, yes.
For the rest of the games?
16 through the final game, yes.
Okay.
That is amazing. If you're in Las Vegas, Jimmy, you know where to come. I mean, you'd be silly to be just throwing away extra big money and building these, sports books and casinos, extra wings with big money.
Yeah, and on a normal basis, your lines never get off of 110, too. It just goes to half.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I remember sitting in the South Point. We did our show there that Sunday. Charlie, when was that? LSU played St. Mary's. What year was that?
2018.
Yeah. So the Steelers in New England, and I was waiting for it to go to 3. I was taking the Steelers. It went to 3. I rushed up to the window. It lasted on 3 for about 25 seconds. I mean, it got bet down immediately. Hey, so we're hearing that a lot of it's flipped on like football and most other things, especially NFL. Everybody bets favorites. For the most part, they bet favorites. But for the first 2 days, the first round of the NCAA tournament, they bet the little guy. They bet Cinderella. Well, Cinderella got banged up pretty good. Was that the case? Your betting public got beat up a little bit on Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, the first couple of days we did pretty well, I have to be honest. It was much better than last year. There were no Cinderellas, like you said. The teams that figured won by, definitely and covered. And, when you have marquee teams like Duke that are in the top 5, and everybody knew the power of the SEC with Florida, Auburn, Alabama, and these teams featured, what's coming to the table. And this was, if you watch the college basketball season, and have a sense that these teams are far better. And what you're going to see is a condensation of the Division I schools, guys. You're going to see less and less Division I schools. Other schools are going to start to compete at the lower levels just because the powerhouses are just so effective, and this could hurt the tournament in the future. Think about this, guys, because you're not going to have as many Cinderellas with a chance, and the Cinderellas aren't going to be as strong as these powerhouses and the Prime 5 conferences. So it will take a little away from the tournament, and I think it started to have lingering effects this year. And then you add the transfer portal into the mix and all this money, and, it's definitely going to hurt the handle and the landscape of the, tournament itself.
You know what you're going to end up with is 78 teams in this tournament, and they're going to play those Cinderella games, those automatic those tournament winners, those one-bid leagues.
Brian and High Point are playing each other.
They're going to be playing each other in these games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Do I want to do that? Not necessarily, but do I think that's what they're going to do? Yes. I think within, I would say, 4 years, there will be 78 teams in the tournament. Now, how they choose to schedule those 78 teams, I can't tell you that, but I think that's inevitable.
I almost wish they'd have something like the football where you have a group of 5. I mean, one mid-major at large. That's St. Mary's. And they're not exactly, real. They have a limit. I don't think they've ever been past the, the Sweet 16, but, I mean, they've been winning for a long time. So that has been it. I would presume Kaluch, Duke is the most heavily bet for the games tonight and tomorrow night?
Yeah, definitely. They're the focal point. Everybody's teasing, everybody's parlaying, everybody's doing their thing with Duke. And, they really look like the real deal. They have a superstar in, Flag. And definitely they're going to be very difficult to beat. I'm looking right now, 2-1 ticket count on this game. Duke minus 9.5 at the Rampart and South Point. Do not sleep on this Arizona squad, though. They are so well coached, and they're really playing well now. 9.5 points is a lot when you get to Sweet 16. Keep that in mind. But yeah, definitely a lot of handle on BYU here, guys. Very surprising. Okay. The ticket count favors Alabama, but the money is favoring BYU right now. Alabama is minus 5. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to go on a limb. I think Bama's a lock here. They're going to blow this team out. I like Alabama a lot in this game. In the next game, Arkansas plus 5.5. Good two-way action here. Ticket count is slightly favoring Coach Calipari naturally after that big juggernaut win against St. John's. That was just huge, shutting down their superstar player, just playing fabulous defense. And that's what Calipari knows how to teach. This is definitely going to be a very tough game. When you see these 5s, guys, a lot of people synonymous with 5-6 being totally dead numbers. So keep that in mind. These are difficult games to handicap. Naturally, Florida minus 6. Ticket count on this game is 4-1 in favor of Florida. Florida looks very tough.
Getting back to that Duke game, Chris Massaro, who's just on with us, he was worried a little bit. He likes Duke because of a little bit of the jet lag factor that Arizona's got to go all the way, back and forth. They got to go to Newark. And I'm thinking about those first 5 minutes of the game Arizona played against Oregon. They were down 15 points 5 minutes into the game.
17-4, yeah.
It was 19-4 5 minutes in. If they do that against Duke, the game's over. They reeled Oregon in.
Right.
They won't reel Duke in.
Yeah, they better be a little bit more keyed up than that one. There's no doubt about that. Kaluch, will you still have a busy night on the ice tonight? A pretty good card. What about 10 games or so? Who are you looking at?
Wow, this is a tough card. I'll be honest with you tonight, guys. St. Louis Blues are just playing lights out right now. I think they won 8 in a row, destroyed the Montreal Canadiens the other night, and the Canadiens are fighting for that last playoff spot, which they actually are still in possession of. So, that was just a telling tale. Jordan Binnington has just been off the hook, guys. I mean, ever since the Nations 4, he has been the top goaltender in the NHL, just playing at an unbelievable level. And you look at these last few games, guys, they've just been blowout games for the St. Louis Blues. And, they're going to be very difficult to beat tonight, if you ask me. I think they're the right side playing in Nashville. I will definitely take St. Louis tonight, take a flyer on them. Let me see what we have here. Minus 135 at the Rampart.
A 35? Okay.
On the road. Yeah. This is definitely going to be a tough game. But St. Louis, here's the last few games, guys. 6-1 versus Montreal. Beat Nashville 4-1, who's the common opponent again. Beat Chicago 4-1. Beat Vancouver 4-3. Beat Nashville again 4-1. So they have outscored this team 8-2 in the last 2 meetings. Why are they not going to beat them again? I like St. Louis tonight. They're definitely a play. Montreal, I think they're a play tonight. Minus 125 on the road. Philadelphia hasn't been playing all that well. They've kind of totally imploded and fell all out of the playoff race instantaneously. I mean, you're talking about a team that has lost 11 out of 12 games right now. if Montreal can't beat this team, I don't know what to tell you, especially during the playoff drive. I like Montreal. Kings are playing their first game on the road, and they're going to the juggernaut Avalanche. And not that the Kings aren't a fabulous NHL team right now. They're playing at an exceptional level, 40, 21, and 9, guys. But they won a lot of games on the road, at home, 3 in a row at home. Now you go back on the road. I'm going to take a shot with the Avalanche here, minus 150 at the Rampart in South Point. So we always got hockey for my Baton Rouge people. There's 3 games for you guys tonight. Let's get some of that money back from last week. I think we had a rough week. I think we were like 1-3. So that's not good. Even if you pop a dog, it doesn't cover the other losses. Let's hit some money tonight.
Charlie wanted me to pass along that his favorite underbet win total is the Mets.
Hey, I'm not a Mets fan. I'm from Queens, but you guys know I'm a Dodger guy. But, I think they could be a little overrated. The Yankees are the team, though, in New York that you really have to keep your eye on. They're the team that looks like they're banged up. They're going to have to make some roster moves. If Stanton doesn't come back, it becomes really a world of hurt because he was somewhat carrying them. And it seems to me like Aaron Judge always needs, not always, but he does need somebody to complement him. And I think that becomes, a huge factor in that lineup for the New York Yankees. We'll keep our eye on, what the Yankees do moving forward.
We got some huge outliers with these MLB totals. The Dodgers have the highest win total in 24 years, and the White Sox have the lowest total in 35 years. Now, you want to on the opposite ends of the spectrum here.
I got 10 different future bets in Major League Baseball. We'll get in later today, but I mean, you just got to stay away from the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers could not have had. They're not going to have more injuries to their pitching staff, and they still won it last year. I mean, so the concern with Mookie Betts, he looks like he's kind of getting that under control. It might affect him a little bit to start the season, but come on, man. I mean, that pitching they threw in Game 4 against San Diego, elimination game, I mean, they win with that. I mean, they're going to win with anything. So I've avoided the Dodgers because they're going to be tough to beat.
They're talking about routine 2.5 run lines for the Dodgers this year.
Yeah.
Routine 2.5
run lines. And Coach, you're going to bet them every day. How many times out of 162 games are you going to be pulling for the Dodgers? Probably one?
Oh, forget it. But let me tell you something, guys. Keep in mind, all you need is about 65 losses, and it evens out because you're going to see those 2-1s, 3-1s, and if you're 3-1 every night, it takes a lot to get back once you lose a game. But, yeah, the Dodgers are going to be monsters. You're going to see them 2.5 run lines. That pitching staff, it's so deep. And, it's amazing that you had guys like Kershaw and May who weren't even a part of what happened last year, and basically they're on the back burner. You have the 2 Asian pitchers that are fabulous. Otani, I wouldn't even push him to pitch, but he could pitch. And you have the Mookie Betts situation is definitely weight, onto his body, and he looked good the other night.
All right, Coolidge, we got to run. Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookie Dwayne, at NYBookie Dwayne.
Florida Derby. Disruptor in the Florida Derby.
Disruptor. Very good. Very nice as we are coming down the stretch of the Derby prep races, getting ready for the first Saturday of May. Thank you, Coolidge. We'll talk to you next week.
Love you, Jimmy. Love you, Charlie. Thank you so much.
All right. Yes, indeed. You're the best. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and shutters. Talk about the siding. We proudly install both vinyl and hardy plank siding, both resistant to rot, termites, warping, harsh weather, like we have in South Louisiana for years to come. It's durable siding. Not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also provides exceptional protection and peace of mind for the homeowners. Again, doors, windows, siding, and shutters. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Give them a call for a free initial consultation, free estimate, 288-8138, 288-8138, and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Sammy's on Old Perkins, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
We are at Sammy's on Old Perkins here near Airline in Prairieville. LSU baseball tonight against Mississippi State. It's a 7 o'clock first pitch at the box. State is 1-5 in SEC play. LSU is 4-2. Cade Anderson will get the ball tonight for LSU. They will keep their rotation intact up here at the front. State will not. State will throw what is basically a relief pitcher as an opener, Evan Ciari. He's made one start in 6 appearances. His season long is 3 innings. He's done that a couple of times. So LSU will have the pitching matchup advantage tonight. Tomorrow night, the best arm for Mississippi State has been Pico Cone. He will throw against Anthony Ianson. So the pitching edge to LSU tonight, the starter's edge to Mississippi State tomorrow night. Anderson has been absolutely fantastic for LSU. He'll try to get them off to a good start tonight. Hour number 2 here from Sammy's on Old Perkins. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
We're at Sammy's on Old Perkins near Airline here in Prairieville with all of your traditional favorites that you love at Sammy's with some new additions to the menu as well.
I got the fresh tuna over here, too. It's you talk about plenty, generous portions as well. It's really good stuff, man. With all kinds of sauteed vegetables with some tuna, a little olive tapenade on top of it. Comes with a side salad. But, yeah, Charlie, all of Sammy's favorites since 1988, red beans and thin-cut fried pork chops, a hamburger steak, chicken fried steak, the catfish and white beans, and blackened chicken pastas, pan-broiled shrimp, the Acadiana catfish. You go on and on. Boiled crawfish daily. It's from Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m., Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at noon. Let's go out to Las Vegas. VSiN's Matt Humans joins us right now. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
You know, I'll say this to start off. It's amazing how Rob Manfred and MLB always get it wrong. I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but I wouldn't say always. Most times you get it wrong because I did like the baseball season opening in Tokyo last week. And, you know, Korea last year and those games that are in the middle of the night with Dodgers. Actually, I think it's a pretty cool way to open the season. But how was opening day not yesterday? And how are there no baseball games going on right now?
Charlie started off with it.
I did. We're on the same page.
Push it up to. They were blindsided by this Sweet 16 stuff. You know, I mean,
they never have the Sweet 16 at this time of year.
Yeah, they're blindsided. So it's amazing. Matt, Cinderella might not be dead, but man, it's going to be. You're not paying attention if you think this thing is going to reverse back to the old days. One mid-major at large, and that's St. Mary's. Now, UC San Diego, they could be playing tonight. I mean, they probably should have beaten, a team that's playing tomorrow in Michigan. McNeese won a game, but I mean, it's not like every other sport where the favorites, the public, they gravitate to the favorites. They bet the dogs in the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament, and they got beat up pretty good. And man, the money is not going to change. I think it's just going to be so tough for us to kind of recapture where these, like the Bryants or the High Points or the, so many of.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The College of Charleston, whoever it is, Wisconsin, Green Bay is going to be able to be really competitive. You're gonna have them. I just don't see how you can have be as much as regular as it once was.
Yeah, you might get one or two. I think McNeese up the road from you guys did a great job of playing the Cinderella role and making Clemson look bad for most of that game last week. Will Wade and the McNeese Cowboys Cinderella. I mean, was there another one? Is there another one we could even consider? I mean, it's kind of a joke to think about it, but I had BYU and Ole Miss as 6 seeds going to the Elite Eight in my bracket, and I was like, yeah, that's like Cinderella teams now, right? Six seeds that are BYU and Ole Miss. And that's not what we think of with the NCAA tournament. As far as betting goes, I did not have good days last Thursday and Friday. I had too many underdogs, too many of those Cinderella-type teams. I did have McNeese, so I'm thankful for Will Wade and the Cowboys for pulling that one off because, man, there wasn't much out there as far as underdogs the first 2 days and had to bounce back. I did pretty well on Saturday and Sunday myself, but, yeah, man, the tournament's changing. I know Jay Billis today, he gave a long speech on ESPN about everybody's overreacting to the lack of Cinderellas and underdogs. I think he's somewhat wrong about that because I agree with what you're saying. First of all, money changes everything and not for the better. And you're going to have a lot more money coming into the market in college basketball this year. I've already heard that Indiana has an NIL budget of $12 million. Some other schools have a lot more than that. Indiana might be the leader in the Big Ten at $12 million from what I've heard so far. You have programs out there trying to buy up players, and who's going to pay the price? Mid-majors. Because if you have a good player, somebody's going to come in and buy him. How about New Mexico? Let's use that as an example. Donovan Dent, the point guard for New Mexico, Mountain West Player of the Year. As soon as the transfer portal opens, he's in, and he should be. It's a smart business decision because how much money is Dent going to be offered in the portal from elite programs all over the country? And New Mexico can't compete with that. So we're not even going to see teams really like Colorado State and New Mexico have a shot to make the Sweet 16 like we did over the weekend when each of those teams won a game and were really close to making the Sweet 16. So, I don't know. It's something I've talked about before. I've never been in favor of the conference realignment where we have the mega conferences, 18 or 20 teams. I'm not in favor of paying players an unlimited amount of money with no salary cap. And it's just money, greed, money, all this stuff's just going to slowly, I don't want to say ruin college sports, but it's going to change it for the worse.
And if they have any type of success, Drake was one of the teams that won it. Number one player in the portal right now is Bennett Sturts. He's already committed to Iowa, and Iowa changed coaches, not even a week ago. So you want to talk about this happens very, very fast. The tournament's not even in the second weekend yet.
Well, I mean, Alabama's the captain is from Ohio. Janai Broom, Auburn's best players from Morehead State. Clayton, first-team All-Americans from Iona. Wolf from Michigan is from Yale. I mean, you can't. You'll be able to sneak it. It's just so much harder. Because you got them for 1 year, and they do anything. And our favorite stat that Charlie brings up all the time, in the football, Sun Belt, all-conference team, 22, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. 22 out of 22 went in the transfer portal. They're leaving. They're going to get more money. They're going to get a better.
I would too.
They're going to, the Four Seasons accommodation instead of Motel 6. I mean, it just. If
it was your son,
100%. I mean, everything they do from the nutrition center. I mean, do you want to go where you get, an allowance to the local burger place, or you got them cook? You can handpick your steak that they can cook you at the nutrition center. I mean, so it's not even. It's nobody's fault. But if you think you're reversing it. Good luck. I don't see the $1 million question to me is, Matt, why are we not seeing the same effect in football? And the only thing I could theorize is that it's tougher to evaluate maybe in football than it is in basketball.
Well, not only that, in basketball, it's a lot easier to pay, 2 or 3 stars. In football, you got to pay so many players, and you just have such bigger rosters. I think the impact that a few guys can make is not the same because, basketball, you can buy 1 or 2 players and it changes everything. And it's not really the case in football, but football has always kind of been, I would say, controlled by the power programs anyway. You see the same names at the top all the time. It's Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, that's Clemson, et cetera. It's all the major programs. It's very rare when you get somebody else. And if somebody else like a Boise State does emerge, it's usually because of the coach or the quarterback or something like that. It's exceptional. But college basketball, one or two players can change everything. I just hopefully it doesn't ruin the sport. You know, I've loved college basketball. You guys have too for a long time, and it's NCAA is a blame as far as I'm concerned. You got to have some guardrails. You got to have some regulations. It's just you can pay anybody. It's become pro sports, but even NBA and NFL have a salary cap. College sports has zero salary cap. What the hell's going on?
They'd love to have one. They're back up on the Hill today in Washington, but they're not making any. Yeah, they're not making any progress.
It's Major League Baseball, no salary cap, and you can go poach whoever's farm prospects that you want, because if you got the right money. So, but you're right about basketball too. That's why it's been the dirtiest, because one guy can change your team. You know, that's why, you know, they were really aggressive in sort of illegal recruiting, you know, at the basketball level. Get to your alma mater. Anything because I think McNeese is super, super athletic, and they can unnerve some teams. I thought Purdue really executed at a high level, and they knocked down the shots, but they never let McNeese get into where they can kind of bully him and unnerve him. You know, and I think McNeese and Houston's roster is similar. Anything to handling McNeese that will prepare them for Houston, Matt?
Well, I don't know. Purdue's played, obviously, plenty of quad one elite type of opponents all season. You know, I remember Purdue played Ole Miss and Auburn, Texas A&M in the non-conference. Got blown out by Auburn, but split with the other two. Competed out. The Houston team's an odd case to me, because Houston, I think of the teams left number one in defensive efficiency, number one in three-point shooting. But when you watch Houston, you're just not blown away. It's a low-variance team that sometimes can look really, really impressive, but sometimes can look sort of pedestrian. So the thing about McNeese, I'm not going to make too much of the Purdue-McNeese game, because I felt like the Cowboys just fired their best shot at Clemson. You know, celebrated for probably a day and a half. It just didn't have much left for the Purdue game. And then Boilermakers came out knocking down threes, and before you know it, it's 27-11, and the game's kind of over. So it's a bit of a different case. Here, you know, with Purdue playing 60, 70 miles from its campus in Indianapolis, you're going to have a huge advantage in terms of crowd support. Point guard Braden Smith's going to be really important. He's one of the top 5 point guards in college basketball. And he's really, really, really good. So he's going to have to try to control the game. And if Purdue knocks down threes, I think they could upset Houston or take it to the wire. If you're not knocking down threes, you're going home. It's going to be a short bus ride home. So three-point shooting is going to be key in this one. I think Houston's stronger around the rim and on the front line. Got more depth there. Purdue's got the guards and athletes that can deal with it. But I thought 8.5 is kind of a big number. I would recommend taking 8.5. And I did play it under the total of 132.5. I think it's going to be a grinder. You know, Houston playing a slower tempo, Purdue struggling to score, and you know, as long as you don't get a bunch of fouls and free throw shooting in the last minute, which is always random with these NCAA tournament games, you don't know if you're going to get 2 points or 20 points in the last minute of the game. But I like under 132.5, and I'd lean to Purdue plus 8.5.
Who else you looking at for tonight and tomorrow night?
Should not get thrown out by Houston. What's that?
Who else you got for tonight or tomorrow night's card?
You know, I actually kind of lean Arizona. If that number hits 10, I'm not sure if it will. I kind of lean Arizona. But the problem with that spot for the Wildcats, how about this? How does this stuff happen? Wildcats were playing a late game Sunday night in Seattle, and now they got to play Thursday and on the East Coast. Seems a little bit unfair that Arizona got that scheduling quirk in its disadvantage. I took BYU plus 5.5, Arkansas plus 5.5. I played Florida minus 6. I got Florida on some money line parlays with Auburn, and I put Florida on a money line parlay with Houston too. Florida, 2 separate ones. I don't think Florida and Auburn are going to lose in this round. Even though Michigan could hang with Auburn for a while, I can't see the upset. I did play Ole Miss plus 3.5, and the other game I played Kentucky. No, excuse me, I played Tennessee -4. Because Kentucky obviously won the first two meetings. I watched them both, and Wildcats shot 12 for 24 from 3 in each game. They've just been so decimated by injuries. It's kind of a shell of the Kentucky team that we were watching a couple months ago. I think the third time around, Rick Barnes and the Balls are going to figure it out and get the win. So I did play Tennessee there.
Yeah, I had a pretty boring Final Four bracket, but Tennessee's my only non-number one to get in. It's just these ones are so strong. But any futures that you made in MLB?
No, I didn't. I haven't played any win totals. You know, I've changed my philosophy on that MLB win totals over the years because I know last year on VSiN there were 2 or 3 that we had a lot of handicappers coming on hyping before the season. I think they all lost. And here's what I don't like. And when you bet an MLB win total, basically you're rooting against or rooting on that team to win every day for the next 6 months. And it becomes extremely annoying. And then you have friends who say, I bet the Cubs win total, whatever, unders, who's rooting against the Cubs and talk about it all the time. That's the problem. You don't have that issue when you bet NFL win totals or college football, things like that. When you bet a baseball win total, you're tied to that team for 6 months or 6.5 months, and you're watching their scores every day and every night. To me, that's incredibly annoying, and I don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. And as far as MLB futures go, World Series futures, how are the Dodgers not going to win the World Series like 2 of the next 4 years? But you can't bet the Dodgers at 3-1. So you got to look for a longer shot. Are you going to play the Red Sox? You're going to play the D-backs? I don't know. If you want to play a long shot, I think you have to look in that neighborhood. I did not. So what about you guys?
Well, I've got a few. Cleveland under based on their one-run performance last year. They were so good in one-run games. Had them last year. I got the 2 New York teams going under as usual. They're getting bet publicly, but I know a group of seasoned. I like Arizona over seasoned guys with the odds makers. I know one thing: the odds makers are pulling against a team every year. It's like they bet the Dodgers under. Because they go, maybe one time out of 162, are they going to be pulling for the Dodgers to win this year? They're going to bet them, every money line. Parlay, minus a 1.5, minus a 2.5, minus 4, whatever line they put it, they can't put it high enough. And, man, they can't have any more injuries to their pitching. That pitching they threw together for Game 4 of the Padres series, how are you going to keep them from winning? I mean, if they won it with that. So... No, they're going to be. It's impossible. I've looked elsewhere. So
that little speech he just gave, I could have gave the whole thing about the season long. I've done it once and I hate it. I thought I'd love it. I hated it.
You want to be annoyed?
Yeah.
Bet the under in BYU Alabama tonight. You want to be annoyed. So I got you annoyance because those jokers BYU put up 90 against Wisconsin. What are they going to do against Alabama? I mean, those are 2 willing participants, man. So that's like
no, you're right about it. I was looking at that total too. The 176, 175.5, 176, the highest total in the NCAA tournament since 1995. And I said, okay, on principle, you should bet that under. But bet that under, that game's going to drive you crazy tonight. So no thanks. Yeah.
And you better go play golf and get the final when you're done. It's shooting 18.
Yeah.
Matt, great stuff as always. Good luck to you, man.
Okay, you bet. Thanks, you too.
All right. Matt Humans from VSiN each and every week. So he's on Purdue, the under there, Arizona, plus 9.5, BYU and Arkansas, and then a few money line favorites, Florida, Auburn, in Houston. So don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, the Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is when you dial your staff. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, of course, our buddy Chad Reynolds, and also the Smiths, Bradford and Natalie Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, the Legacy Staff. Charlie, this is what I have left. See, we're on television, smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
That's tuna with the sauteed carrots,
like a whole half a
zucchini
plate
and squash with the olive top. I know. I mean, I over-ordered.
That's the regular portion.
Sammy's, man.
That's a regular portion.
Generous portions, brother.
Sammy's at Old Perkins near Airline in Prairieville, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
We are at Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline here in Prairieville. Sweet 16 tonight, LSU baseball tonight, and the real opening day of Major League Baseball season. You got some totals that you like.
We got some totals. So yesterday, if you missed it, Randy McKay gave us 4 win totals. He's got 2 overs and 2 unders. His 2 overs are the Twins in Seattle. His 2 unders are the Yankees in Cleveland. I have the Yankees under and the Mets under as well. You know, our friends at the Queen, the DraftKings outlet, pretty much has the most competitive odds on this. There's a few, but most of all these, like 75%, they have the best line available.
What'd you get the Yankees at?
89.5. Okay. You know, Randy got 92.5. That is long gone. 89.5 is the best.
Garrett Cole moved to three games. The Garrett Cole injury.
Yeah, and that's even money at DraftKings. I mean, you're paying like minus 45 some places, and you're seeing some 88s out there, 88.5. Cleveland was, you know, the one run. Their bullpen was outstanding, so good last year. But there's a bunch of the one-run variance. I mean, it's going to be hard to run that back again. Their bullpen can't be as good. You saw Clase have some real struggles. You know, kickers, closers, and putters, Charlie. You know, you're supposed to be successful. You're supposed to make the kick. Supposed to close out the game. Supposed to make the putt, but short putts. When they don't, you can get the yips. And man, he was terrible in the postseason. That was crazy last year, and also no protection for Jose Ramirez. So Naylor is gone. He batted behind Ramirez. Ramirez was either second or third in AL MVP, and now that you don't have any protection in the lineup, sorry, Roscoe, but under 82.5. Cleveland. The Diamondbacks, man, with that pitching, I mean, they've got it. They're also, you love their Tello, they run. They got a young lineup. Of course, Corbin Carroll at the top. Arizona, man, their starting pitching is going to be really tough. 86.5 is kind of a big number. I mean, 10 games over 500, you lose. So, but San Diego's not as strong in there in the division. The Dodgers will be, but Colorado and San Francisco not so much. San Francisco mildly improved. And then the division picks, because I got, of course, staying away from the NL West. But the AL West, talking about rotations. Seattle. Seattle's best number to win the division is plus 250, and this is Houston. Houston is not a shadow of what they were. I mean, it's just over time. You know, first it was, the leadoff guy, Charlie Springer, and then it was, Gurriel, and now it's Bregman. You know, I mean, Correa. Now it's Bregman. I mean, they've lost so much, man. Tucker is, he carried them. He went crazy for about a month last year. The Astros, I know they've won for so long, but I think you're getting some value at other places here. I'll take the best pitching by far, maybe the best pitching in all of baseball, minus the Dodgers if they're healthy. NL Central, Cincinnati Reds, they were one of the worst teams in one-run losses last year. They've got Dela Cruz. They're improved in the rotation. So I think Cincinnati at plus 550 has got a real shot in the NL Central. AL East, I'm going back to Baltimore. So just Boston's going to be an eye story. They're going to be improved, but that's going to be hard. Crochet is unbelievable. The Tennessee guy, kid from Ocean Springs, right there, right next to Biloxi. But I'm going to take Baltimore to get back there. Bautista is healthy. He was hurt last year. Their bullpen should be really good, like it was 2 years ago when they won the AL East. And, man, you you can't just ignore all the injuries with the Yankees. I mean, Toronto, they got problems. I mean, Tampa Bay's got issues. You don't even know where they're playing. So, but the Baltimore plus 300. And then take your pick, Charlie. The AL Central is really wide open. Kansas City's a popular pick. You can get plus 340 with the Royals. But Minnesota seems like they have. And Lewis, can he stay healthy? I mean, if he just gets him healthy, he's a star. And, they Cleveland grabbed them last year, but Minnesota, I think, has the most complete team. And, heck, whatever they get out of Lewis is just gravy because he hasn't been able to give them much at all, minus the postseason games a couple of years ago when they swept the 2 games against Toronto when he was unbelievable. So you kind of take your pick, Minnesota plus 220 or Kansas City plus 340. You can bet on both. You can bet on both if one of the two hit.
I know who ain't winning.
Huh?
I know who ain't winning that division. The White Sox.
The White Sox, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One other one, too, is the A's. I like the A's over. But their whole deal is a little unsettled where they're playing.
They're orphans in Sacramento for 3 seasons.
Can get really hot in the summer times in Sacramento. So it's inland enough. So I just don't. But they're on the improve. Remember how bad they were. Well, they were the number 1 ROI team for, 3 months of the season because their lines were buried so much, but they were so much better. And that was still one of the coolest, oddest. That last game at the Coliseum was worth watching. I went to the Queen to make sure I could watch it and listen to it. Tommy put on the sound and stuff. It was sad. It was odd. It was a little bit of everything, man. It was a little theater,
I felt for those fans. I felt like I did when the Browns left Cleveland. Okay, it's not my team. I don't have any, any skin in the game. But what they were going through, the low payroll, the worst stadium in probably professional sports, not just baseball. And they had hung in there, and they had scotch taped that thing together for so long, the Moneyball era and all that stuff. And they had more success than they ever had any right to, given the resources that they had. And then they yank it away from them. And this part really aggravates me too. I can get mad at owners, but this owner in particular, who was born on third base and thought he hit a triple, with his parents' money, just to yank this out of there. To go to Las Vegas, where, correct me if I'm wrong, they're kind of lukewarm on whether they want that
they
team
don't really
or not.
Want them.
I mean, I don't know if it's as bad as the Chargers in Los Angeles, but they're not throwing a parade over there. It was sad. Sad is the word.
If they'd have gone there just 10, 15 years ago, would have been received much differently. But
if they were building the stadium somewhere other than where they are,
the Vegas Golden Knights are. Well, if they had Vegas Golden Knights are theirs.
Yeah.
Never been anywhere. They won a title. That's theirs. Okay, so you have that, and then the NFL's king. If you go to Vegas, I mean, the NFL is so much more popular than college football out there. And now they got NFL, and you're going to follow that up with a weak owner and a weak team.
And they'll have an NBA team inside of 10 years.
The timing, nobody's fired up about it.
They'll have an NBA team owned by LeBron James by 2032.
So the other thing is, the Moneyball will be associated with I was more impressed with them being able to get into the playoffs after the big three were gone.
Yeah.
Because even more so, starting pitchers were such a big deal. Before you had the open up games that being effective. Before you had, 4 relievers in every game coming in. With Mulder, Zito, and Hudson. I mean, no, it's not about David Justice past his prime drawing walks. No, I'm sorry. It's about those 3.
Miguel Tejada was pretty good, too. He won the
MVP. But it was after that. Remember they lost that wild game against Kansas City in the wild card?
Yeah.
It was after that they was still good. That with nothing and no real great pitching as well.
Like your Cincinnati pick, I'm a Tito Francona fan. I think he's worth.
He's one of those solid. I think
he's worth several games by himself.
Yeah, no question about that. So don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. Now's the time, starting to kind of get a little warmer. Well, we're about to get a lot warmer. So call my buddy Lucas Ragusa and his great staff over at Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000. You can get $100 off that AC check. So it's going to get your unit prepared, make sure everything's in order, clean it so it runs more efficiently. It's like changing the damn filters. It's like, you can change in your oil. Get everything checked because we're going to really lean on them. And you don't want to, when it's 100 degrees outside, you don't want your AC unit to break. But who doesn't want lower monthly bills? Who wants to avoid breaking down into a way less convenient time? And who wants to save you money overall and extend the lifetime of your unit? $79. That's it. It's normally $179. Call them up. Mention our names: Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Yod, Max Gotro, the whole bit. 480-1000. 480-1000. One-time AC visit to get your unit in tip-top shape for these hot summer months. 480-1000. Total Maintenance.
Live at Sammy's on Old Perkins near Airline. Live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Here at Sammy's on Old Perkins near Airline in Prairieville.
Kenny White in Las Vegas. Let's get to him. He's at the men, the women, Sweet 16, college baseball, a little bit of everything. Kenny, how you doing, buddy?
Is that right? Yeah, Jimmy, doing well. Thank you. How's everything there in Louisiana?
Well,
warming up.
Yes. Crawfish season, full in swing. They're beautiful down here right now, especially over here at Sammy's Grill, where we're doing the show today. But Kenny, I got to be honest, man. The first round, I was like a lot of people. I gravitate to some of the dogs, more of the obscure. It's been profitable over the years. But it wasn't on Thursday and Friday, especially on Friday. And a lot of these dogs not even competitive.
Yeah, that's the NIL we're in now. That the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and it's going to happen until I think that's regulated. We see it in football. It's going to get worse. It's for LSU and Alabama and Georgia, it's not going to be too bad because you guys are going to have the best athletes in the country of any team in probably all sports now. So the SEC is dominant in college sports, and that's it shows that they have the money. They want to invest the money in their athletes. So it's it's a smart move.
I'm like you, Kenny. I just don't. I don't think this is an overreaction. And as far as regulating this, oh man,
good luck.
Well, good luck. And then they'll draw the line. You can put a salary cap on college football. College athletics. Period.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's become such a piece of Americana, man. And I think it was Playboy magazine that actually wrote, "Hey, this is a bucket list." And one of the things was the first weekend of March Madness. You got to get out to Las Vegas, And man,
right.
It's been such a phenomenon. Will it hurt it? It's still going to be big. It's like taking off that Thursday or that Friday, taking off a day of work or whatever, or going with you guys. But to not have the Cinderella fact, there's a lot of people pulling for the little guy that first weekend, and
no doubt.
Will it affect it?
I don't think so because I think that there's the parity's not there now in college sports, but when you get to the final 16, there's a lot of parity between these teams. So these games, this is where the madness should take place. It should take place tonight, tomorrow, and over the weekend, that we get upsets in almost every other game. I got to believe these dogs are going to start barking here soon because obviously the bookmakers move their numbers what trends are evolving. And favorites are winning. They're going to continue to make the favorites higher and higher and higher till the dogs start covering. And I think this is the next 2, 3, 4 days are going to be fun for dog players.
So let's go back to your days when you were setting the lines, and your company was as well. Doing this. How can you not make Duke even higher when they're betting them across? It's 80% anywhere in the country, wherever you are.
I went back and I looked at my ratings, and I've changed the way I do things from in basketball this year, and I'm going to do it in every sport now. And because NFL caught my attention that when they're not playing very many preseason snaps. And these guys are not in game shape when the season starts. And I heard a couple of NFL head coaches talking about it, that it takes 3 games for these guys to get into game shape. And we always talk about mid-season form. Well, that's 8, 9 games in the NFL. So I've now changed my model in how I adjust teams, and I now adjust a little higher on the team that overachieved in the game than I do on the team that underachieved. So I don't knock the team as much. So my ratings have gone up faster this year, which is fine because it's equal across the board for everybody. I started Duke a 120, and after they beat Arizona at Arizona, they were a 129 rating, my model had them. So they went up 9 points in 5 games. On February 22nd, they were a 131. They'd only improved 2 points over 3 months. Arizona at that time was a 128.5. If I would have made the line on Duke and Arizona on February 23rd, I would have made the game pick.
Wow.
Well, we know what's happened since then, though.
Right.
Duke has gone 10-2 ATS, and they've run up scores against the weak teams in the ACC, and my power rating is now a 141.5. They've gone up 10.5 points in about a month in 12 games.
Does the same thing apply with Michigan State, who's covered 11 of 12 or 12 of 13, and those aren't very close? Now, Sunday was, but most of them haven't been.
You're right. I didn't go back to look at them, but I just thought it was very interesting that if they would have played on February 22nd, I would have made this game pick 'em. But since Duke has played so well, now Arizona's rating went from 128.5 at that time to now a 130.5. They've only gone up 2 points. But I went back to look, and I did their strength of schedule. And Arizona's played the 7th strongest schedule in the country over that time, where Duke has played the 80th strength of schedule over that time.
All eyes are on Caleb Love. If he's capable. He showed us that on Sunday.
And I don't even know if it's just him or not. Bradley, I think, looks good. KJ Lewis is quick, and the center Visar wasn't playing a lot early in the year. He was getting about 10, 12 minutes a game, and I think he played 12 minutes against Duke. He was probably a deer in the headlights. Now he's playing 30 minutes a game. They need the big guy in the middle to be the rim protector. I watched them versus Oregon the other night. I thought they were very good. Quick first step, pass to the basket, very strong and physical. I think they give Duke everything they want in this game tonight.
I was surprised that they sat Walker late in that game against Oregon because he had been so productive earlier in the game. They sat him. He had foul trouble, but they sat him way deeper than they needed to in that game. Oregon damn near caught him at the end.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I watched every play in the game because I had Oregon and I took 4 and 4.5. I thought I had an easy winner, and then I'm watching this thing down the stretch. To me, it looked like Arizona got their shots whenever they wanted to, and they got clean looks. Oregon had to work so hard to get a shot and never got a clean look. They just got some nice bounces that went in. I really felt like Arizona could have won that game by 12 if things would have gone their way, but I felt everything went my way and Oregon's way in that game.
Yeah, in the first 5 minutes, Arizona sleptwalked through the first 5 minutes. The last 35 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not even talking. I didn't even watch that part. I started watching, I think, late in the first half. So I watched the last 25, 28 minutes of the game when it got closer.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
But for me watching in the second half, I thought Arizona dominated them on both ends of the court. They just didn't dominate them on the scoreboard.
I had Oregon, too. The first 5 minutes were fun to watch. They were up 15 points.
I bet they were.
It's Dana Altman. That was he got the most out of that roster. That Vegas tournament they won, they beat multiple teams that had stronger rosters, and he nearly did it because Arizona's the more talented roster. I don't think anybody's going to argue that.
No.
Kenny, the women, USC -1 over Kansas State on Saturday night. The obvious. What do you think they're adjusting the odds, and how much have they with Juju going out?
Yeah, I thought they probably did a nice job adjusting the odds there. I don't have my sheet here in front of me. I adjusted 9 points. I had 9 points difference with Juju, and I had the game 9.5. So I'm really a pick. I thought it would come out 10, and they made the adjustment. I don't know if they adjusted well enough on the total. Because, a 10-point game is a lot different from a pick-em game and a close, back-and-forth game. USC still got really good defensive team. I made the total a lot lower. I bet it under. I went under, I think it was 142 I went under.
Kenny, what do you think of the LSU NC State game? LSU was shown a 3.5-point favorite in this game, a team that they beat by 17, but that was way back in November.
Yeah, I'd like to be on the show every week, so maybe we shouldn't talk about that game. We should just jump to Notre Dame.
Okay, you tell me. Who's your favorite then?
Notre Dame has been a team that I've been backing all year, and this is a really good basketball team, and I think their defense is getting better. They finished first in the Big East defensively, which isn't a big deal, but offensively they're as good or better than everybody else in the country. And I laid 5.5 on them in this game. I made them 12.5. They got revenge. They lost to TCU earlier this year, and they've had some tough. They lost 5 games. 2 of those losses were after a loss. You were undefeated, and you lose a game, your bubble burst, and they just weren't ready for the next game. And then they went on a big run, and they were number 1 in the country for 4 or 5 weeks, and then they lost a game and bubble burst. They lost the next game, and they lost a tough game to Duke in the conference champion or conference tournament, but that game was being played in North Carolina, and it was a Duke home game who's very good. So this is a really good team. They have a player on their bench, Liz Carlin, who started at Marquette last year and averaged 17.5 a game and 8 rebounds, and she can't break the starting lineup. I don't know if she's 100% as she was last year because she did have an injury, but she's been playing every year, and I think she's getting better, too, because her next to last game was the best game she's had this year, first game of the NCAA tournament. If they get her back healthy, look out. They're 5 points better than anybody else in the country.
Kenny, any other favorite plays on the men's side, either tonight or tomorrow night?
Love Arkansas. I haven't heard the final injury status report about Chance McMillan, but if he doesn't play for TCU, I think that Arkansas should be the favorite in the game. They get Fierro back, and he is a beast, and he's their best defensive player. He's the best offensive player. He's their best player all around, and they need him more than anything defensively, but they've got Plan back. They gained 8 points to their power rating getting those 2 guys back into the starting lineup, and then McMillan's worth 3.5 points for Texas Tech. They didn't need him against Wilmington, who's, got lucky to get in, and they didn't need him against Drake, who really didn't have the athletes. They were just really well coached and played that slow-down style. But Texas Tech didn't need him in those. They need him tonight, but I don't think he's playing because everything I read, it's a shoulder injury. And he can't shoot the basketball, and that's his game. He's their best 3-point shooter. So, love Arkansas.
Kenny White, tell everybody how they can get involved with your service.
Before I tell you that, though, how about Cade Anderson tonight? Let's go LSU and under parlay. Anderson's been dominating, and Mississippi State's going with their opener. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think LSU wins this one 5-3 tonight, 6-3, somewhere in that range. But Kenny White Sports, if they want the information, Jimmy, Kenny White Sports got the power ratings, $25 a month, and then my VIP club's $150. I make it easy. You don't have to do the work. I just put the plays in the club, and you get them and bet them and collect.
Kenny, we always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week when we get ready for the Final Four.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Andy.
Right.
Thanks, Jimmy. Have a good weekend. Good luck.
We're brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so let Coastal Capital Advisors tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. Bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work and build a lifetime relationship with you. I know, because that's what they've done for me. So you contact Philip Fontenot, his staff, 337-981-1376. Online, coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC. Back to wrap it up. Old Perkins near Airline here at Sammy's Grill in Prairieville, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny.
Here at Sammy's on Old Perkins near Airline, the Texas Children's Houston Open underway. Sam Ryder on the lead right now. He's 6 under par through 13, 6 birdies and no bogeys today. One of our consensus picks, Min Woo Lee, is 4 under. He is through 15. 2 of our other picks that Max gave us are about to tee off. Siwoo Kim and Tony Finau going just after 1 o'clock. Thanks to the folks here at Sammy's. Ball crawfish weekdays at 5 o'clock and on the weekends at noon. All of your traditional favorites plus some new menu items here at Sammy's. Old Perkins near Airline here in Prairieville. For Jimmy Ott, for Max, Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Thibodaux Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. As you get your yards in shape here, springtime is upon us, of course, so you're getting out all of your garden tools, all of your potting soils, all of your seeders, all of your wheelbarrows, all of your hoses, all of them on special right now at the website, doitbest.com/Thibodaux Store. And, of course, their Cajun cookware. You've heard us talk about it, that they will deliver to you for free. So many different items that you can get, so many different grills, the Cajun cookware, the Big Green Egg cookers. You can go into the store and purchase, and all of the accessories that go with the Big Green Egg cookers. Commercial fishermen, make it your stop at the Thibodaux Store on your way down to the coast. And, of course, all of your power tools, your hand tools available there with great customer service that you're not going to get at the big box stores. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and online, doitbest.com/Thibodaux Store.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.